Because this is the Global Digest think tank group. We talk with many professors, expertise,
Oh,
scientists with different global issue, regional issue.
okay.
Why don't you briefly introduce yourself? What's your major? What's your background in your university or other field? Please, Ritesh.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. John. I'm Dr. Ritesh Kumar Rai, and I'm Assistant Professor, Department of Politics and Interstudies, Pondicherry University. And my master, MPhil and PhD I did from Jawaharlal Nehru University. It's located in New Delhi. My
Right.
area, my area of study is basically international relation, and especially Central Asia, South Asia, and Southeast Asia, and Inner Asia also. So during that, my master course and my PhD also. I did my PhD especially in the Mongolia sector, okay, and my topic was basically related to energy security. And here, I generally I take classes international relations subjects as well as political science also. I taught here Indian foreign policy and public opinion survey research also, public administration also, and some theory paper for related to IR only. I have three PhD scholar under my supervision, so also parallelly I'm guiding them also. So this is my brief introduction about.
So you have various multidiscipline experiences, you know. So, by the way, Pondicherry is in Tamil Nadu or Kerala, which state?
It will come under the Puducherry, that's called Union Territory. But if you look from geographical perspective, Pondicherry University come in Puducherry Union Territories, okay? But after few kilometers, this will come Tamil Nadu. So we can say this is a buffer zone. If in international terms, we can say buffer zone, okay? So it's part of the Puducherry, but some areas we can say, if you look at from the Indian federalism perspective, we can say it come Puducherry, but some part of in Tamil Nadu also. But officially, it is Central University, so it will come under the Puducherry government.
It is within Tamil Nadu state.
Yeah, not Tamil Nadu, Puducherry. Puducherry basically Union Territories, government under the supervision of central government. But when you come through Chennai to Pondicherry, in that stretch, this is situated between the Tamil Nadu and Puducherry locations. So that's I'm saying. If you look at about Indian federalism perspective, we can say Puducherry. But look at in other perspective, we can say Tamil Nadu also. Okay.
So it
So
is southern India.
yeah, it is southern India and is lower part of the southern India, above the from Kerala.
So in India federal system, what is union territory position compared to state? How rights they get and what they don't get with the state?
When partition after 1947, so they have decided we are going to make a state, and all of you know that about especially that time was that area was divided, basically northern state and southern state, and most of the part of the southern state was running by the princely state. If you heard about that Hyderabad, Junagadh, okay, Vizayanagar, these are the capitals basically from the kings. So they have decided when after then Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi, and they are deciding we are going to talk about the unity of India. So, if you go in the background, especially if I will take you in background, especially in Gupta dynasty, okay, in 320 to 550 century also, and after that, if I will say a basic example, Chola dynasty, okay, the Cholas there is before that Pallava dynasties also, they have ruled here only, basically in southern part where I'm right now, okay. So they have rule here, and they have very good cultural links, economical links, political links with Southeast Asian countries also. Like we can say Cambodia, Java, Thailand. Okay, so you can correlate from there also. South Asia, Southern India, and Southeast Asia also. Okay, but now I'm coming to the point about state and union territories. So they said ki state is going to rule and run by their have own state system. Okay, that will come under the state authorities. Okay, their center will be not intervene. Okay, and there is a union list. There is a part called a seven, and they have decided state versus center also. Okay, and parallelly they have decided the contour list, and if any conflict between state and center, then center will automatically get the power there. Okay, and if you talk about union territories generally come under the directly from the central government. And here, like for example, we can say central government like LG, okay, lieutenant governor, okay, it's appointed by only from the central government. Okay, but look at about a state, and state is run by the especially chief minister. Okay, and like for example, if you go in the center level of Indian federal system, so we can say the prime minister is the head of the cabinet minister. Parallelly, in the same thing about his state, there is chief minister is the head of the state. But when we talk about union territories, there is always the administration, public policy, it will come to the direct from Delhi only. Okay, so these are the basic definitions about. I'm not going in the totally constitutional that's the division, but this is slightly different. This union versus state here. So
Right.
we can say in that another sense, state is a more you can say like autonomous body if you're going to compare.
So union territory is more centralized.
Yeah, centralized, direct to central.
And what they call the head of union territory, chief minister, or how do you call?
Uh, Actually, in some part of the Union Territory, there has two assemblies. Okay, so in Puducherry, there is a chief minister also. Then, like for example, in Delhi, we can say, okay, there is a chief minister.
Right.
And recently, like yeah, just say like for example, recently Ladakh and Kashmir, okay, they have divided two new Union Territories. Okay, so here the head of the Union Territories, we can say Lieutenant Governor. But here is also one thing is contradictory because this chief minister, they are elected members also. So parallelly, they have power the CM also. So if you are following the Indian news, especially in recently time, like Delhi is facing like a pollution presently. So there is a fight going on versus center versus state, like blame game. Okay, so they are saying because it's happening because you are center and you are authority, they are saying you are running the state, why not managing there also? So this is a, we can say, the power of class between the center and state. So here, of course, authority is a lieutenant governor, but they have nominal power if you talk about. And if I will take example in Delhi, Delhi is a capital city. Delhi is a capital city, and that's why they have a much power as CM. And so CM can take all decisions from there, and that's why recent chief minister, he is trying to pass a new resolution, new bill. They are demanding Delhi should be separate from the central government. Okay, they are demanding for the
Right.
autonomy. Okay, so this is a power politics, we can say. So
But
I will,
Delhi is still union territory, right?
yeah, Delhi is also an entity. Chandigarh is also an entity. They have in Chandigarh that's come under the Punjab and Haryana.
So each union territory may be also different level, right? So what is the requirement to become union territory? Because some city or some certain region, they just want to get union territory. Well, central government will easily given them, or what a requirement to get it.
Yes, yes, I got
Otherwise,
it.
there can
And
be many union territory,
yeah. No, John, actually, they are not demanding for the union territory. They are demanding for the separate state. So once again, I will take you in background Indian politics.
In case of small territory, they may.
Yeah, yeah, different state, they don't want to come under that within the particular. Like for example, just I will take a few minutes with the history. When India got independent in 1947, after that, the first state formed like Andhra Pradesh. Okay, it's also part of the South India, and they formed the on the basis of language. Okay, they said "Ki we are speaking the Telugu language, so we need a separate states. Okay, so if you look at about India, and after that they have formed the constitution and they have amended the bill and regulation. They said, ki, no one state can demand on the basis of race, religion, caste, gender, whatever. Okay, so they said, ki, we are not going to listen you. So what happened after that partition until 2000, there was not a demanded for a state. So central government has very said clearly we can provide a new state if that state is not going to provide a proper economic, political, and social security. Okay, so on that basis, in November 2001, the three new state formed. We can say Jharkhand, Uttarakhand, and Chhattisgarh. Yesterday was celebrated Uttarakhand Divas also because yesterday on the same day they have formed the Uttarakhand also. So in 2001 November they have formed the three state, and the criteria was very clear. If this state can't be managed in terms of the socio-economic and political security. Okay, so if you look at in the Indian world map, so we can say Uttarakhand is a part of the Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, from the population, we can say is the top most populous states. If you are going to compare in terms of the world, to after the Brazil, we have in Uttar Pradesh populations. Okay, so that was a criteria. Same thing about like Jharkhand also, Chhattisgarh also. So these are the criteria for the state. Recently, in 2013 of January of month, the new state formed called Telangana, and it was part of the Andhra Pradesh. So they have demanded a new state and they have formed the new state. And no one can demand a union territories because it will come under the that central government. Center has authority. Center has authority if they are going to they are going to change some of the new rules, so they can form the union territories. So that's why I have given you when 370 article is scrapped from that by for the special provision for the Jammu and Kashmir. So they have formed the two new union territories. They have formed Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir.
So, union to be union territorial, it is solely decision and the opinion of central government.
Yes,
Not
you're right.
anybody can easily request or demand for union territory because
Yes, yes.
it is it is just for the interest of central government, not for
Yes.
local interest, I guess, like that. So how about the relation between your Pondicherry and Tamil Nadu state? In ancient time also you are together or slightly different circumstances, house environment since ancient time?
John, I am basically from there is one state called Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so I am from there only. And the last year I came here in Puducherry. This is a center university. And you asked about Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Of course, they have a common identity, common language. Because why I'm saying, if you come in the Pondicherry, they speak Tamil also, and if you go in Tamil Nadu, they also speak the Tamil also. So they have they have same identities, same cultures. But after the partition, when they have formed the Indian territories, So they said this Puducherry will become union territories and Tamil Nadu is a common the state only. Okay, so they have no such any cultural differences between the both of union territory and state. There is no any power politics clash between to each other because they are all the same people. They are the same people. So that's why I'm telling you, just say for example, once again, if I take the example like European countries perspective, like European Union in 27 country, people can visit with the single ethnic identity. So same thing here also, they have single ethnic identity. So there is no as such personal interclass between two each other. But when you go in like, for example, in part of the like Andhra Pradesh and the other part of Telangana, other part of other sub states, so there is a conflict. There is a conflict for survival. Okay, so there is a big debate happening in especially we can say the Kaveri river disputes between the two states, especially from this Andhra and Tamil Nadu. Okay, but Puducherry and Tamil Nadu, they are same people. Okay, and they are staying the same place because Puducherry is very small union territories. Within a one day, you can explore the Puducherry also. But Tamil Nadu, especially the capital Chennai, is the oldest metropolitan city in
Right.
India.
Right.
So
So
Tamil Nadu, yeah.
Pondicherry, it seems central government just selected, granted Pondicherry as a union territory if they see it's fit. Otherwise, there are no reason they can get union territory, right? It's
Yes, yes,
up to
absolutely right.
central
Absolutely right.
government. So, I
Yeah.
mean, uh, central government selected, right? So
Yes.
that's India politics. So I mean, state and union territory has especially nothing to do related to foreign policy and what about foreign business, international business, trading relation? What state level can do in terms of international issue, relation or economy, or because it may be very limited.
Yes. Uh, Whatever for my knowledge of concern, I realized basically that time after 1950, there was, they are fighting for who is going to rule, who is going to dominate, yeah, who is going to get a power. Okay, that was the basic concern. So I have mentioned about Chandigarh also. So if you look at in Chandigarh, Punjab and Haryana, okay, they have different ethnic identities. So they are fighting for the once again we can for the survival for the power also. So they have formed the Chandigarh Union Territory. So they can Union Territory they can manage both of the state, Punjab also and Haryana also. And Chandigarh is located between the both of states, and the judicially and everything come under Chandigarh only. So if you go in Haryana and judiciary case will come under Chandigarh also. Even police services will all come under Chandigarh also. Same thing about that Punjab also. Judiciary come under Chandigarh only. So as for my knowledge concern, I can say here when they are trying to maintain a balance of power. And if you know Indian politics, we can say here central power is very strong. If you're going to compare, because we know that because if you talk about Indian federalism, so we that's why some political scientists they are saying India is a quasi-federal here. Okay, because of this reason, because look at the autonomy about central power, they have much more in terms of you said you have mentioned about foreign policy, any defense, whatever. Okay, any static relationship, center can decide, they can take action rather than state. And but parallelly, if you go in the USA, there is state has own autonomy. And John, I want to share one simple example. When COVID came in 2020, and when our Prime Minister on 22 March 2022 and he said very clearly, we are going to do a lock the that all the state and that's a home lock and 24th of March. You know, not a single voice raised by any state But same thing if you go in the USA, and that's called, there is a state called Florida. Okay. And that time they're not suffering as such any virus there. And when their president have declared, we are going to follow the lockdown, so they said, the Florida said, no, we have not as such any single cases here. So we want to enjoy our independence, whatever they have life. Okay. So you can correlate here. Okay, this is a call of India and US. Both are democratic countries. Both are talking about the federalism also. But here, center is a much more powerful compared to that, because Constitution of India has already provided them.
Right. I mean, if they very much concerned about security, they maybe keep defense and related to security, foreign policy issue, but they can. It will be much opportunity for state that economic role can be much open for state will be very much good for development because privatization and international business investment trading is cannot be controlled, market economy system.
Yes.
So if the state role are bigger, they can do more economic growth, I guess. Then India can be also developed if all states have such kind of their own role to grow economy. Now, India is not much different from since independence, not able to get develop or increase growth
Yes.
economy, and still it is very not much hopeful near future, very rapidly growing economy. So how do you think what level, which sector should be more central government can get role in India? What are very risky and what should be better to open wider in state level?
Thank you, John. Once again, when we talk about Indian foreign policy, so of course the center is a powerful here, and I will recommend, like for example, Article 352 Constitution of India, Article 356, Article 360 also. They are talking about financial, political, and security issues also. Okay, so they have given full-fledged power about central government. When we talk about Indian foreign policy, so first we have to, because I believe in the Indic philosophy. Why I'm saying, if I will take example like Maurya Empire, if I will take Kusan State Empire also, if I take example Gupta dynasties also, okay. So that time we have already a foreign policy. We have already that time of globalization also. We have also that time of liberalization also. But the problem start where when we are talking about state, we are talking about territory, we are talking about IPR, we are talking about identity, we are talking about politics. These are a problem. Because why I'm saying, if you go once again in that Gupta period, especially 320 and 550 century, so we have a maritime trade links also, and especially through from southern India to China to Southeast Asia also. I have mentioned in earlier the first also, like Thailand, Java, and Cambodia, Indonesia is also, in Myanmar also that time, Burma we're calling. Okay, so that time we have a cultural, social, and political, historical, everything that we have links, because they have no as such any territorial dispute between each others, because that time we can say they have a common interest. They had common interest, they are sharing to each other also. And according to the Marshall McLuhan, he said very clearly, we are talking about global village. And what is a global village? That means this is not a new concept for India. We have already that time was talking about that. This is, for example, if I will say, we are talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Okay, so we are not talking about only for the Indianness. We are talking about whole of the people on this universe. Just say, for example, G20 recently have summit, and India motto in G20 said very clearly, one nation, one earth, one family. We are not, we are not going to say, this is hosting by us and this is our property. We are talking to this is property, whatever is for everyone. And this is a universe. And second thing about, you will talk about Indian foreign policy, we always believe in the peaceful. We always believe that time. Also, we believe satyagraha also, non-violence also, especially Gandhian thought of philosophy. So we believe in the peaceful coexistence, and that's why when we got independence, and after that we said we are going to follow the non-alignment movement. I will quote Anglo-Madisons, and he said very clearly in his own book, if you go in that early age, India's economy that time 1/3 of the total world GDP. So you can think about before the British Empire came here. When they came here, they have ruled 200 years here. After that, what we are suffering after that. And after independence, especially since 1950 to 1960, our GDP was slightly is going to upper, but we have several problems. We have several problems, and these problems was, I can say, directly in the mind created by the British Empire. Why? Because once again, India is multi-diverse society. We have multilingual, multi-ethnic, multi-identity, multi-cultures also. And if you look at about the British Empire, especially I can say like in education system, social system, okay, tax system they had created, and what they did that time divide and rule, and they have decided ki if they have to rule in India, so first thing they have to break in the parts, and that's why they have break the part into the on the basis of princely state, on the basis of caste, in the caste of the religions also, in the class also they have divided. So when they left here, after that India was struggling. Especially, I can say when our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he was a pillar about Indian foreign policy. So he was suffering a domestic politics. He was suffering a lot of domestic politics, and that's why he was trying to make a strong state. Okay, and he was trying to make a strong state, and there was one author. His name is Siddharth Rangarajan. He said very clearly why they are looking for the strong state, because through the strong state they can think two things: the rapid economic growth also, and parallelly they can think about economic development also. Because after that, what happened? We are suffering of poverty. Okay, after independence, we are suffering of poverty also. Okay, and in 1954, 1955, in the part of the India called West Bengal, they have famine also. Okay, so we need a foods first. We need a first food, then we can think about foreign policy. Okay, so till 90 to 50, 90, 60, we can say our foreign policy was a very idealistic way. But you know very well what happened when Indo-China war happened, then Second War, India and Pakistan also. So after that, we can say when Lal Bahadur Shastri became a second prime minister in full-fledged, I talk about 5 years. Then he was thinking we should not think about idealism, we should think about practical also, and that's why he has given the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kishan also. Why he mentioned about Jai Kishan, Jai farmers? Because he knows India is running by the soldiers, and as well as he said very clearly, is running by the agriculture sector also. Because till 1970s, our GDP was totally depend on agriculture. So I'm not going to all the details in everything. So I will come just part of the Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. Why I'm coming? Because we can say these phase was very pragmatic in terms of defense as well as economic, in terms of the political also, and that's why they said we are looking towards West. But unfortunately, US has denied. US said very clearly that they are not going to support a decolonized country in terms of security, in terms of strategy, in terms of the foreign policy. That's why in 1971 we have signed a treaty with Soviet Russia, and we make a friend also, because ultimately we have to survive in terms of security. And after that, we have signed so many agreements. And in 90s, we know that when socialism, the ideology was collapsed and capitalism came, so our Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha, they realized, okay, we should think about LPG concept. And not only the LPG concept, and that time we had given the concept the lookist policy also, and we are looking the lookist policy. So whenever I'm taking my class students, they're saying this is not a new policy. If you go in the history, we are already lookist policy, but unfortunate for us, we have forgotten that concept. So nursing house came and we are going to follow the lookist policy, and through the lookist policy, he said we are looking the Southeast Asian countries also. So we are going to revive our cultural identity through them, and we know that if you look at, like, for example, in Myanmar, if you look at about like Bhutan, if you look at about Java, Cambodia, they have strategic locations. Why I'm saying? Because in 1990s, there's term called geopolitics. This also coming the geopolitics terms, and we have to survive. So they have realized, not in terms of the economy, in terms of political, we need a security also. So till 90s, 1 to 1998, when Indira Gujral became a prime minister, he said we are going to form the Gujral doctrine also, and we look at the southern countries also, like we can say the energy diplomacy also. So we are looking for the Iran also. We're talking about Iraq also. We're talking about Saudi Arabia also. We're talking about Persian Gulf countries also, because we need energy also. And if you look at about in 1995, 1996, there's called energy diplomacy. So India was looking energy perspective also. Ultimately, we have larger population. So we need a food, parallelly, we need economic development. Without energy, we can't survive. Okay, so these are the basic parameters when Atal Bihari Vajpayee become a prime minister. For the 13 days, the party was collapsed because they have not mandate properly. So when he became a prime minister, then he shifted towards USA, because he realized US, because of the USA, because of security, as well as nuclear energy, we will not survive. Okay, because if you look at Indian geography perspective, we need energy. So they said we are talking about nuclear energy also, and parallelly after that, still carrying on till Manmohan Singh government, and there is a one his personal, we can say that person. His name is Sanjay Baru, and he has written own book in talking about the 10 years about the Manmohan Singh era. So I will just recommend one line. He said Manmohan Singh was very clear about why he was looking towards USA. Because when Manmohan Singh was the prime minister, within the party, people are not supporting them. And John, I will share one fact. When Indo-US nuclear deal was happening, there was 7 MPs, member of parliament from the southern regions. They have resigned. They have opposed also. They said we are not going to support this party, UPA party. So after that, we know that in 2014, with the full place, Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi came into the power, and he came with the very global visions. And when he joined in June 2014 as a Prime Minister, first he have invited our neighborhood, and he called all the South Asian neighbors. And after that, he said very clearly, ki now Lukist is over. Now it is act. We have to work on
Okay.
act's policy.
I guess
Yes.
India should be much bigger than now, because ancient time until British colony, all Pakistan, Bangladesh are together as part of India country, very big one. And after independence, Pakistan is separated and Bangladesh separated. I don't know what's made very difficult to be separate. Even actually, India should be included, Pakistan and Bangladesh, compared to Northeast, uh, uh, Northeast Arunachal, Nagaland, Mizoram. They are much, I mean, uh, same culture and same historical experience, historically connected, But why Pakistan and Bangladesh are so difficult to be together with India? What made that to be separated? Otherwise, India should be, one country of South Asia. The other are no need to count, because just separated within India. I don't know what are the main reason. Just for religion?
John, actually, what happened when partition of India, when this Pakistan came and Pakistan born a new state. So, if you look at Hindu philosophy, they are saying, if you will born, so one day you will going to die also. Okay.
Muslim also hesitate with Hindu extremism. I don't know.
Actually, no. I will just complete my sentence. Okay, in Hindu philosophy, there is philosophy when you are going to take a bond. After that, you have to die also. Okay, this is Hindu philosophy. So Pakistan is a form or not a state. They have taken as a child a born in 14 August 1947. Definitely one day they're going to die also. Don't worry. Okay. Second thing, if you look at about in 1929, the goal-based Sammelan happened, and especially before that, also come in 904 and 905 when that first communal rights happened in the part of West Bengal. So Jinnah realized that time we are going to talk about the Islamic states. And what Islamic states? They said ultimately there is a Hindu and Muslims. So I told you the British has a they are very smart in that. They said there is two religions. And Jinnah has never thought, there never a second thought we are going to form the states. But these Britishers had given the idea. They have given the idea why you not going to raise a question you are talking about a new Islamic state. And when he met to the Mahatma Gandhi and he said, I am going to demand a new state. Gandhi, in that meeting, he said very clearly, he did not wait and watch. First, this is an internal fight. He can resolve also. The first fight is here to against the British Empire. Jinnah said, I need a separate state, separate country. And we can once again say, if you look at once again Jinnah background, he was not a common man. He was, he is once again we can say he has very coming from the very upbringing family also. So he knows very well. When Pakistan is going to partition and going to form the new state, he will become the head of the state there also. They're not talking about Muslims' benefits. They're not talking about anyone. And look at about what happened when partition happened. Millions of people had been beheaded by the not only the Hindu and Muslims also. Who talked about that person? Who care about that person? No one has cared. And you feel surprised in the part of the there is a one bungalow in the Bombay. Jinnah is still getting his family is still getting the revenue from their money. So
So
they are not talking
you
about the
want to
common
say
man.
Jinnah is his personally interest to be separate,
Yes,
not
it's a
with
personal interest.
Muslim and Hindu, but it's many people see it because of different religion are so complicated. It's conflict between two religion, and the population also very separate population, Hindu and Muslim. But you point out there is a personal interest is there that may separate.